Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tarnika Manning, and I'm Community Outreach Manager at the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force. We are a nonprofit organization working to reduce disparities among breast cancer mortality for women of color in Chicago. To learn more about our organization, please visit us at our website, which is www.chicagobreastcancer.org, or like us at Facebook, or you can follow us on Twitter. You're watching a live call-in television program brought to you on cable channel CanTV Channel 21, and we're online at cantv.org/live. During our show, we discuss various breast cancer issues that affect women of color in Chicago. I invite you to call in anytime you have a question. The number is 312-738-1060. Our phone lines are open, so definitely give us a call if you have any questions. Today, our guest is Terimarie Degree. Terimarie is the Program Service Manager for a great organization called After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, or ABCD. She's going to tell us all about her organization and how you can get involved with some of the programs that they have here. If at any time you have any questions, call us at 312-738-1060. Hello, Terimarie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You guys came a little way, so thank you for traveling to Chicago to come talk to us today.
Yes, we made it through the traffic just fine.
All right. So can you just tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. My background is a little varied. I started off out of college with a BA in English working in a law firm, and then I transferred over to Milwaukee County government. And so I worked there for our Department of Aging. I also worked for our zoo and our mental health hospital. And then in 2012 is when I transferred over to the nonprofit sector working for ABCD. And so I'm in my second role now at the organization.
Oh, awesome. Great. Oh, well, tell us a little bit about ABCD.
Sure. ABCD was founded in 1999 by a television journalist named Melody Wilson. During her breast cancer journey, she used the platform of being a broadcaster to share about her own experience. And through that, people just from the community were calling with their questions and concerns. And out of that, she and other associates and friends noticed that there was a void in the breast cancer support community, and that is where the idea for ABCD was birthed.
Good. There definitely is a need to keep getting women supported. All right. So what population do you serve?
We actually serve a variety of populations. The main focus for ABCD is having one-to-one support. And so what that means is that we try to make sure that we have enough volunteers who can serve a diverse population of people who have the need. And so we have people of all ages, racial and ethnic backgrounds, as well as male breast cancer survivors in our volunteer corps.
All right. I think we have a caller.
Okay.
Caller, you're on the air. Caller? Hello?
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes.
Do you have a question or a comment?
Hi.
Can you please turn your TV volume down? We're getting a little feedback.
Or a comment? Hi. Can you please turn your TV volume down? We're getting a little feedback. Or a comment? Hi.
Hello?
Can you please turn your TV volume down?
Hi. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, great. My name is Kathleen, and I'm an ABCD mentor.
Oh, awesome. We have a mentor calling in. All
Hi,
right.
Kathleen.
How are you?
Hi, Terimarie.
Oh, so can you tell us what you do with ABCD?
I'd be glad to. I got into ABCD after being a participant. I had learned about ABCD via a brochure in the hospital waiting room and called ABCD and had your extensive interview where you ask lots of questions. And then I knew why you did that when I got my mentor. It was a great fit. And she worked with me, and so when it came time that I was able to become a mentor, I was drawn to that immediately. I felt that it was a great way to take something that was regard it as negative and really make it a positive and help other people with something that, you go through. And so it really has ended up to be a joy to be there when somebody is just really feeling overwhelmed. And a lot of times just telling them that my diagnosis was 10 years ago, they go, oh, that's like really good news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just encouraging them and giving them some information. ABCD makes it very easy because you match people that are very similar, and certainly in terms of their cancer diagnosis and treatment. And so then they can ask, well, what was it like to have chemo? And I can answer that. And radiation and all the other things. And so it's been a wonderful experience.
That's awesome, Kathleen. Where are you calling from, Kathleen?
From Brookfield, Wisconsin, right out of Milwaukee.
All right. Well, thank you for calling today.
You are very welcome. Thank you for asking me.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That's awesome. You guys are based in Milwaukee, but you guys work across the U.S., correct?
That's correct. We do actually have volunteers throughout the country, and part of it, too, is because we are expanding our helpline.
Okay.
And so part of expanding the helpline is having volunteers who live in different time zones so that we can make sure that we're servicing people who live in different time zones when they're calling with their service questions or concerns.
All right. If you have any other questions about ABCD, please give us a call at 312-738-1060. We are live. All right. So we kind of talked a little bit through Kathleen about your mentor program. So can you give us a little bit more detail about the mentor program?
Yes. What Kathleen was talking about in terms of calling us and then being asked lots of questions, that is called the intake. And so during the intake process, we have staff who are asking the person a lot about themselves, what they know diagnostically, and then also things like their hobbies and interests, their religion. We really want to get a sense for who they are as a whole person because we have that information on our volunteers. And so we use a database program. Now we are using a Salesforce platform. And so that's a web-based database. And that is where we see which one of our volunteers is most like the person. And so then that's how we know who to reach out to. And again, those volunteers could be in Wisconsin or they could be in Texas, Illinois, any place in the country. And so then we pair the two of them together and they have a phone and or email-based relationship for ongoing personalized support.
Okay. So who usually calls for assistance?
We have a variety of people who call for assistance. One thing to make sure that we emphasize is that ABCD is not just for breast cancer patients, but it's also for the family members and friends. And so we do also have instances where, for example, someone's husband calls and he's saying he's struggling with his wife's diagnoses. And so then we're able to pair him with a husband mentor. And actually, Kathleen, the woman who called her husband, Jack, is a husband mentor for us.
Awesome.
And so the two of them have been volunteering for us for a number of years.
Oh, that's great.
And again, we also have friends or sisters, just people who have concerns about their loved one. We're able to support them as well.
Good. I was just mentioning to Terimarie that one of my friends called the line because she had a friend that just was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and she was kind of confused on how she could help. And so she got the chance to talk to a mentor. They provided her with some assistance on how to help her friend. So anyone can call. So we definitely encourage you to look up ABCD and learn more about it. So are there any groups that you are targeting to utilize your services in particular?
We do try to make sure that we target in terms of diagnostic information. For example, triple negative, inflammatory. We have a good number of metastatic mentors, but we can always use kind of more to make sure that in terms of turnover of volunteers, we're making sure we have enough for those special populations of diagnostic information. We have older volunteers again and younger ones as well. one of the things that we're actually recruiting for most is to actually have people volunteer on our helpline.
Okay.
And so again, part of that expansion, making sure we have people who can are comfortable with technology, because volunteering on the helpline involves using a computer as well as a ABCD provided cell phone.
Okay. So do you work with women of different cultures as far as different language?
We do. We have bilingual staff people, bilingual in English and Spanish, and then we have volunteers who are bilingual in, Spanish, I want to say Portuguese, German, Polish. And then for people who might have a language barrier in any other language, then we do have a translation service. It's called Pacific Interpreters, and so we're able to utilize them to make sure we're able to communicate with anybody who might reach out to us.
Okay. So what are some of the typical requests that you get from callers on your helpline?
It's a variety of information that people are looking for. We have people who are looking for appearance products, so wigs or prostheses or bras. We have people who are looking for just resource information in terms of new studies coming out, statistics, things of that nature. And then we have people who are looking for maybe just a listening ear.
Yeah.
And so people who are looking for someone to voice their concerns to, as well as someone who might just be looking for financial assistance. And so those are kind of the main areas that we help people in, as well as tell them about our other signature service, which is our match program, which Kathleen was sharing a little bit about that. So a lot of times people call the helpline and then they end up entering into the match program.
Okay. So did you guys fill a lot of gaps when YME disappeared?
We did. We did. For those who are not familiar, YME was a long-standing breast cancer organization based out of Chicago, and unfortunately in July of 2012 they went out of business, and so there was a gap in the breast cancer support world because YME had a very strong helpline.
They did.
And so people who worked for YME as well as volunteered for YME banded together and decided they wanted to keep that service out there in the community. And so through a very long process, they ended up connecting with ABCD. And so we were able to expand the helpline that we already had, and we are on the road to making it 24/7, just as the YME hotline was. And so we do still have some of their volunteers as well as people who work for them still volunteering with us on our helpline.
That's great. That is really great. I know here in Chicago, YME was really big, and we had a big walk, and when it ended, people were sad, and we got a lot of calls asking about YME. So if you have any questions about how ABCD filled that gap from YME, give us a call. We're live at 312-738-1060. All right, so what is the process of getting set up with a mentor?
Well, you can either call us or email us yourself. Or you can be referred by a medical professional. And so we have a form that's called the consent to contact form, which medical providers have. So that can be a surgeon, breast care coordinator, just a hospital professional. And so they are able to fill it out for the person. The person gives their signature, their consent, and then that gives ABCD permission to contact that person. A lot of times during a breast cancer diagnosis, there's so much going on. You have a lot of appointments, a lot of phone calls. And so to add one more phone call to a person's plate kind of seems like too much, even though the person really is looking for support. And so with that consent form, we at the office call the person, and we actually try them several times. You know, if we get their voicemail, we'll leave them a voice message, and just to let them know that we're there for them. And then once we actually make contact with the person, then we, go through that process, which we kind of went through before in terms of getting to know them and then pairing them with the mentor.
Okay. So how long does it take to get set up with a mentor?
We try to do it within one business day. We have a number of staff who are trained in doing the matching, myself included. And so it's just a matter of really connecting with the person, having that 20-minute long intake conversation, and then getting to our computer system and hearing back from a volunteer. So that's what we aim for. It may take maybe a couple days, but usually no longer than 3 days is really what we aspire to.
Good, good. So once you're paired with your mentor, how long are mentors working with participants?
Well, all of the match pairings are based on the needs of the person. And so there is no maximum or minimum amount of contact that they have between them. We encourage our volunteers to call the person at least 2 times. That's what we have found establishes rapport between the two of them and makes the person feel comfortable. Some people are just looking for information. They're looking to make decisions. For example, if someone's looking to have reconstruction, they might want to talk to someone who had saline implants, silicone implants, and maybe deep flaps. So they're talking to 3 different people. They're not necessarily going to stay in touch with all 3 of them, depending on what they choose. But other people stay in touch with their mentor for the duration of their treatment.
Okay. All right. So, again, I think we talked about the 24-hour hotline you guys are working on.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of women just have general questions, and would you recommend them to give you a call?
Yes, we actually, the volunteers who work on the helpline have been trained by us, and so they do have access to resource and information. And if someone asks them a question that they themselves cannot answer with the information we provided, there is a way for them to pass that request on to the office. And so then the staff are able to follow up with the person and provide additional information.
Great. All right. So if you have any questions about ABCD, give us a call. We're live at 312-738-1060. All right, so once a woman's been diagnosed with breast cancer, at what point do they usually call?
Well, and that's a really great question, because that's another thing that with our name, sometimes people feel, oh, it's not just after I've been diagnosed, so I can't call them. We actually are able to service people at any point of their journey.
Okay.
And so it's not just after a diagnosis. Sometimes people call us and they are afraid because they have a mammogram scheduled. They're not even diagnosed with breast cancer, but they're just nervous, maybe because of family history. And other times people are 10 years out and they're calling our helpline. Maybe they have a fear of recurrence. Maybe they're stopping their hormonal therapy, and so they're nervous about what's going to happen. And so at any point of a journey, people can feel free to call us.
That's great. I know we work with women to navigate them through the screening process, and they're very nervous just to go to mammogram, or even if they have to go back for any other additional screenings that needed. So that's a great thing to know. All right. So why is it important for breast cancer patients to reach out for support?
Well, it's really nice to be able to talk to someone who's been in your shoes. It's nice to be able to talk to someone outside of the medical professionals and just be able to say, this is how I made my decisions. This might be helpful for you. This is what I experienced. It might not be what you experienced, but this is what it was like for me, just to kind of get the inside track.
Great. So how does someone become a mentor?
Well, we have a training process, and as we were saying before, we do train all over the country, again, in trying to build out our helpline. But we basically make partnerships with different organizations, and if people have requests for us to do training in a certain area, we're looking to at least have about 10 people who are interested, and then we build a plan to be able to meet them where they are. And we have several trainings lined up actually for the rest of the year. The next one actually will be here in Chicago.
All right.
We'll be at McNeil Hospital September 27th and 28th. And so there is online components to the training as well as in person.
All right. So how long is the training? Is it 2 days, full days, or?
We have a variety of ways that we present the training, again, based on location and availability of professionals, availability of people who are interested. And so it's about a 12-hour training program altogether.
Okay. All right. So if you're available September 27th and 28th, make sure you reach out to ABCD and sign up for their training at McNeil Hospital. All right. So can you explain the process to get trained to be mentor? Is it like once you finish that training, you're been thrust into the...
Yes, well, I'll explain it in terms of our different volunteer roles. So if you train to become a helpline mentor, the training that I just described is the prerequisite. And so you do that part first, and then there's additional technical training where you are guided by one of our staff persons to show you exactly what to do with your computer at home and what to do with the ABCD provided cell phone. So we call that the helpline technical training. So once you finish the helpline technical training, then you are deployed as a helpline mentor. If you would solely just like to be a match mentor, then the training such as at McNeil Hospital would be sufficient, and then you could be deployed as a match mentor.
Great. All right. So if someone wants to volunteer at ABCD, but not necessarily want to be a mentor, necessarily work on the hotline, is there somewhere else they can volunteer?
There is. We actually have another classification of volunteers. We call them ambassadors. And so the ambassadors go to health fairs, for example, for us, and they go to tabling events, and those can be, health fairs, they can be at churches, at schools. They're going places where they're sharing our information.
Great, great. All right. So where can someone get more information about ABCD?
Well, we do have a website. Our website is www.abcdbreastcancersupport.org, and you can also feel free to call the helpline. And the helpline number is, it's on my bracelet. Let's take
That's
a
a nice
look
way
at
to
it.
remember it.
That's right. So it's 800-977-4121.
All right. Can you give that website again just so that we make sure people will be able to sign up?
Sure. It's www.abcdbreastcancersupport.org.
All right. Is there anything else you would like to share before we move on as far as the training?
Sure. Part of I can explain more about what the
Training here in Chicago,
Sure.
so people know that they can go where they should go to sign up if they're interested.
Well, you can go to the website, or you can actually call the helpline. And so again, the helpline number is 800-977-4121, and the helpline volunteer would take your information down and then pass it on to the office staff. You'll be contacted by a staff person who will give you the application that you need to fill out, as well as more details in terms of the time of day and things of that nature.
Okay. And so again, anyone who's interested in being a volunteer can sign up. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We
So
usually
you don't necessarily have to be a breast cancer survivor. Correct.
That's correct. We're looking for breast cancer survivors to at least be a year out from their diagnoses. But for friends and family, we call them co-survivors. They can be kind of at any point of their journey. We have a little bit of a conversation with them just to see where they're at, and then we go from there.
All right. All right. And again, we want women to come and sign up to be part of the training, which is September 27th and 28th here in Chicago at McNeil Hospital. All right. And we also want to make sure that they have information about ABCD. Give the website one more time.
Sure. www.abcdbreastcancersupport.org.
Okay. Great. And the phone number again? So they write it down.
Sure. It's 800-977-4121.
All right, great. All right, is there anything else that you want to share with the audience before we conclude?
Well, just wanted again to reiterate that ABCD is not just for breast cancer patients. It's for anyone impacted by a breast cancer journey. And so, if you have questions, if you're looking for resources, or if you're looking for support, definitely feel free to contact our organization, and we'd be happy to serve you.
Well, thank you so much, Terimarie. This has been awesome. I've learned a lot about ABCD today, and I hope our audience has learned a lot about ABCD, and they also go to your website and learn a lot more about ABCD. If you have any other questions about ABCD or what we do at the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force, please visit our website, which is www.chicagobreastcancer.org, or be our friend on Facebook and like us. Our handle at Twitter is also MCBCTF. So definitely follow us and mention us on some of your tweets. And I'm pretty sure that if you go to our website or our Facebook or our Twitter page, you'll find out a lot more information about ABCDs, how you can connect to them. All right. I want to thank Terimarie for being our guest today. We hopefully get a lot of people signed up for your training, which is September 27th and 28th at McNeil Hospital. All right. And I would like to thank you for watching. And please tune in again next month to CanTV 21, or we're again online. You can always watch us online at cantv.org/live on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. And here we talk about the latest information around breast cancer and other related issues here in Chicago. I am Tarnika Manning from the Metropolitan Chicago Breast Cancer Task Force, and I want to thank you for watching and have a great afternoon.